So very good afternoon. I'm Parag Kulkarni from MCCIA. I welcome you all to this webinar on supply chain and operations challenges and solutions post lockdown. This webinar will be conducted by Mr. Hemant Zog. I have shared screen with you. I hope it is visible. I'll just share a few things about Mr. Hemant Zog. Yeah, Mr. Hemanzo has around 35 years of experience in areas like sourcing and supply chain operations. He has vast experience in automotive sector. By qualifications, he is a mechanical engineer with additional qualifications in material management. He is certified green belt and has been instrumental in using lot of improvement techniques like 5M, 5S, TPM, Six Sigma, etc. He has conducted several seminars on MCCI platform, and I hope that his experience will prove beneficial to you in post-lockdown period. So I now request Hemant to please start the session. Thank you.
Uh,
Sorry to interrupt. Just before I hand over to you, just couple of things for the participants. I request all participants to keep their audio and video on mute mode, and you can type your questions on the in the chat box. We will take up your questions, and if required in the last 10 minutes we will keep audio and videos open for all in case anybody wants to interact or anybody wants to share their experience for the benefit of the rest of the participants. Is it okay, Hemant?
yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. Now please, I request you now to please start the session.
Okay. So good afternoon, everybody.
Yes.
And it's so nice to be here. First of all, thank you, Parag, for a nice introduction. And thanks to MCCIA, because I saw MCCIA not only this webinar, but they have been conducting relentlessly a lot of good webinars, good topics. And I understand that the participation has been also very good. I mean, basically, everybody is trying to collect as much as experience as possible through such experience sharing, so that it can be used once we are out of this lockdown, as what we have been experiencing last almost 34, 35 days. So what I'm going to talk today about is supply chain and operations, which have been my areas where I have worked. Whatever I will share is not very big rocket science. In fact, these are all very practical things that I have tried putting down so that you are in a position to practically use them. Also, I have tried making wherever possible a short term and a long term kind of. Long term, when I say long term, now this has all become very relative, because short term may mean next 1 month or 2 months, and a long term may mean about a year maximum. And we have to do a lot once we are out of this lockdown, because then we will have very less time. So that is what I have tried doing. What I will straight away do is start sharing my screen, and it's a presentation which I have put up so that we are in a position to talk with respect to the points that I have tried covering. So that is what my intention is. And as Parag said, at the end of the session, you can ask as number of questions as possible. Whatever we can answer through this session, we can. Otherwise, I've shared on the last slide my contacts and emails where you can contact later on as well. So no issue at all. So this is a webinar on supply chain and operations, challenges and solutions post-lockdown, conducted through MCCIA. So now this is an agenda. What I'm going to talk about is current situation. Then I have put up some slides, 2-3 slides on leadership. What kind of leadership do we need at the time of this kind of a crisis? Then I have put up some challenges in operations and supply chain. And then, as per me, what could be the solutions, what we could all work on in the SCM as well as the operations. And then I have covered certain general points, and then we will take question and answer. Let's talk about the current situation, and I have put down some positive aspects which I see out of the current situation, because I feel that we should look at the brighter picture of the story first. So I feel that we are still in control in India. Now this could be a very controversial statement. Some people may say that we are in lockdown and therefore it's all good, whatever it is. But at this point in time, we seem to be in control, considering all our complications, our population, etc. The second good news that I see is Europe is slowly returning to normalcy. And maybe within a month, 2 months, we will see a good situation, a normal situation. I'm not saying the business growth, but the normalcy returning. The third very important positive point that I see is sourcing from India is a strong possibility in light of whatever is happening in China and in Europe, US. So this possibility is a large possibility. The fourth, manufacturing companies having factories in China may relocate, and that has already started. Now here it is a caution that I would like to say. One option is India, but don't forget, we have to catch up on many things if that option has to be has to really take place or has to happen, because there are other countries, Thailand, Vietnam. So, but one option is India, and certainly we can do a lot about this. India will see a business growth. So it's unlike Europe or US where there will be a negative growth. Maybe India will be 1.5% as RBI has said, but we will still see a business growth and certain sectors will certainly grow. Now it's for us, and it is not the topic of this webinar, that how do we really tackle that situation? That's a strategy which one has to think, but certain sectors will certainly grow. Let's come to some of the negative aspects. As I said that just now the situation seems to be in control, but maybe once the lockdown ends, there could be a W curve. So we will have to be extremely careful about the situation. So we will have to really handle it with care. And I have put down some actions related to people and related to the operations when it comes to this. Vaccine may still take a year. So though there are a lot of optimism around, a lot of people coming up and saying that we may be ready in September, October, but looking at the protocols, looking at the the tests needed, it could be that it's a year away. Growth rate in India, as we are accustomed to, when we say lower growth, it is 5%. But this time, certainly it would be less than 2%, as everybody is expecting. So definitely that's not a good point. Growth rate in Europe and US, we spoke about it, negative. Relocation of manufacturing companies may mean entry of your competitor. So don't forget that you are in India and somebody may enter and it may be your competitor. So that's one of the points that one has to take care of. Now I come to the leadership in times of COVID-19, and I have put down 3 types of leaderships, and I had shared this even on the LinkedIn, and if you have seen, some of you, that the first type of a leadership is a self-leadership, and every one of us is a leader because everyone is handling people, handling self, handling business. So self-leadership, there are few points that I have put. Stay informed through a reliable source. Don't go under the kind of news information which is coming in. Just as take it with a pinch of salt and always depend on reliable sources. Accept new reality. It is not going to be same. The world is totally different now. And post COVID, like somebody said jokingly, that it will be before Corona and after Corona world. So accept new reality. Create a new routine and stick to it. You must have a routine, and in lockdown, every one of us has tried to put a routine behind us so that we are able to stick to it and we are in a position to absolutely then come out of this lockdown. Follow guidelines laid down by authorities. Never take shortcuts. Whatever guidelines are laid down, be good civilian and be good, the Indian person. Stay calm and manage your stress. And this is very important because all of us need to do that. Everyone has got into a frustration mode. One doesn't know, uncertainty is looming. So stay calm, manage your stress. The second is people leadership. And when it comes to this, employee safety is first. Redefine achievable performance goals. Don't be under the impression that my business plan, what I decided in the beginning of the year will stay. No, you will have to redefine some achievable goals. Employee anxiety. Your people are very anxious. They do not know what is going to happen to them. So the communication is the key. And a lot of people I have seen are doing this, that they are continuously speaking to their people. And that's important because in today's world, communication is not difficult. It is not costly also. You can make a phone call. You can make the Zoom conferences. You can make video calls on WhatsApp. So a lot of things are possible. So anxiety has to be managed. Arrange online training and morale building activities for people. The morale of the people is very important. At the same time, if they can learn something which probably they do not find time when the routine is on, always at the end of the day have some humor. Without humor, the human cannot exist. So have some humor. Like I was listening to one of the psychiatrists, and he said that at least laugh 4 or 5 times in a day. That's very important for you. The last one is the business leadership. Understand what is going to be the business impact. Unfortunately, we are in a situation where our businesses are affected. So we need to understand that impact. We must understand what is going to be my turnover, how much impact will I have, how much cost that I would incur, which would take me into a situation which is not good, so etc. etc. Redraw your future plans and redo your SWOT analysis. Today, you need to do especially the SWOT, especially the threats and the opportunities that you have. That you need to definitely redo and look at what opportunities you have and how you can convert those threats. Reach out to partners. Today's time, and you will see everywhere in the society also, people are helping each other. So reach out to your partners, your suppliers, your customers, ask for help, offer help. It is always a two-way story. Be an influencer and capture your learning. In tough times, look for opportunities. I think I said that when we spoke about SWOT. And look for innovative solutions. Always. In this type of situation, I think innovation is one of the very important aspects. And all of your people plus you put together do need to look at the innovative solutions. So these are the kinds of 3 leaderships that I would always say or recommend that you must follow in this type of a situation. Now let's go to some of the operational and supply chain challenges that I have. And there is no definite order for these points that I have put. So as in what I thought about. So I have tried clipping. So all of us are eager to start the operations again. But first of my challenge is that I don't know what is my market. Is my order which was there when I started the lockdown, is it existing? What about my business? How much is going to be my order load? I don't know. The inventory levels that I need to maintain, how much FG I should have, how much raw material I should have, I don't know. Current material component source is in China. I was buying from China. Or even, okay, I put here China, but even abroad. So I don't know what the situation there is and when will I get this material, when will I get this component. What are my priorities in supply chain? How should I really do it? Strategies for sourcing. I didn't think about it so much. But today, the strategies for my sourcing are very much important to me. But at this moment in time, it's unclear to me. People safety and that next point, which I have captured, which is true situation for many of us, availability of contract people. People have gone to their villages. People have returned to their hometowns. Will they come? People are also scared about their safety. So I heard a lot of businesses which could start on 20th or after 20th. There aren't people very much willing to come. There is a fear in people's mind. So what should I do about it? I have no clear production plan. I have a lot of challenges related to 5Ms. All of you understand 5Ms: man, machine, material, method, and environment, or the mother earth as we call it. So I have a lot of challenges related to it. What level of production do I maintain? How much do I produce really? I don't know. the rules are difficult to follow in practice. When after 20th, a lot of people started, the kind of rules which have been put by administration, by the government, by the municipal authorities, by the local authorities, they are very much difficult to follow. But I have no other go. I need to follow them. What should I focus in operations? How to keep my people's morale up? What should I focus really on? People are talking about that adopt new technologies. Really, new technologies are helpful. You could definitely do wonders with technologies, etc., etc. So what should I do really? So these, and this is an endless list. So there are so many other challenges in front of me, but these are some of the most important that I have tried to capture. So how do I really go about it? So let me come to first the supply chain, because supply chain is the starting point of the operations, the organization. So if you have material, if you have raw material, if you have WIP, you can certainly start doing something. So let me come to some of the challenges, some of the solutions. And first of all, I have tried capturing what should I do immediately. So these are some of the practical aspects that I have noted down. First of all, and this all, whatever I'm saying is possible right now to be done. So know your inventory status first. Raw material, work in progress, finished goods. Know your order status. Which are the orders on suppliers that you have, which are the customer orders that you have, and first and foremost, reschedule supplier orders if needed. That is the first communication that you should send to your suppliers, that maybe you need to, and this is the legal document that you have. When you release an order on the supplier, it's a legal document. So you should reschedule your supplier orders. Prepare a dispatch plan for at least first 2 to 3 weeks. I'm saying 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 1 month, 1.5 months. And begin invoicing. Psychologically, this is very important. I've almost for 40-45 days, my invoicing number is 0, except for the factories which are in the areas where they have not stopped really. But otherwise, all of us have invoicing as 0. So from that perspective, this is very important. Psychologically, factual and continuous communication with suppliers and customers is the key. Don't hide anything from the suppliers as well as customers. Tell them what is the real situation, what is the effect on you, and how is it going to be for you, because then only they will also share what is the status with them. So this is the key. Conduct all your meetings virtually. Zoom, Skype, Google Duo, and start doing it now with whatever other actions that I'm going to come forward with. There also, wherever possible, start talking to your people, because it's very important that when you start, people also come up with their own ideas. So it's important. So start everything virtually. And in fact, this is going to be the future as well, because one of the areas where we can certainly do a lot is having virtual meetings, cutting down on visits, cutting down on travel, because that's going to be also risky in the coming days. But even after the vaccination is found, it will be always good to cut your cost and cut down your unnecessary travel. So conduct all meetings virtually. Now I come to addressing some more short-term challenges. How should you do that really? Check external warehouse stock. I'm talking about people who have warehouses apart from their factory warehouses, which are not attached to their factory. They have warehouses near their customers in other states, etc., etc. As well as transit stock, because you don't know, 45 days back, maybe you had some transit stock. The truck or the transport company has stopped wherever they were, and that transit stock is still there. So have an account of that stock. Have a very clear standard operating procedure for material receipt and dispatch, because, and I'm speaking this from the point of view of COVID-19. Otherwise, we had all this. But the extra care that you need to take, and the extra kind of checks that you need to do, right from the trucks that arrive in your factory, the tempos that arrive in your factory, and the people who arrive along with them. ensure all legal compliances, no shortcuts, please, because we are facing that every day people who are not really complying not only are getting punished, but also are adding to the worry of all of us because it's also spreading the virus. So ensure all legal compliance. There are a lot of maybe transport permissions necessary for interstate and inter-district movements whenever they start, or if you start as a company or as a factory which is allowed to start, and there are some hotspot zones or there are some yellow zones, etc., etc. So have these transport permissions very clear. And I'm saying all above actions, wherever possible, do them before lockdown ends, because you have still 5 or 6 days to go. So you can do a lot sitting at home, all your people sitting at home. Do all this so that you really are ready when you are going there. Now I come to slight long-term supply chain challenges. And I would say these are also not unknown to us, but we haven't stretched ourselves enough. This is my opinion. And I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'm happy. That first of all, talk to your suppliers for credit period extension with proper communication and agreement, because your customers are going to do that to you. I'm sure that credit periods need to be extended and will be extended. So definitely try and do that with suppliers. Proximity of supplier would be an advantage at this point in time. So my suggestion, of course, look at the total cost of ownership, the TCO, but look at the supplier who is nearer to you. Don't overlook it, and immediately start import substitution. If you have not attempted it in the past, because it was coming from a low cost country or a best cost country, whatever you say, but today's situation is that you need import substitution, not only from the point of view of lead times, but also from the foreign exchange point of view. You will see all currencies have appreciated against rupee. So this is the need of the hour. Our next point, and this has been our time since I am practicing supply chain, everybody talks of lead times and throughput times, but real lead time reduction is necessary here, because flexibility for you is going to be the key. Today what is available to you as an order, tomorrow may not be available. A lead time could be a differentiator for you to qualify or to win an order. The techniques, now all those 3 techniques that I have mentioned in the next point are absolutely known to us. Just in time, vendor managed inventory, raw as possible. A lot of you will say, what is so great in that, Hemant? What are you saying? Now, we haven't really practiced them in real sense. This is my opinion, because the just in time is not only just in time for me, as I always say, it's just in time for the entire system. Today, your supplier, your customer, and you yourself are looking at the total inventory reduction. For everybody, it will be a win-win if just-in-time is practiced for them. So JIT, the real vendor managed inventory, and there is no time to go into all these details of all this, we can talk off the line. And raw as possible, because if you are in a position to standardize up to a certain level even, you will be in a position to cut your throughput time. So raw as possible is a very good technique where you are in a position to really talk about the stage where up to you can really standardize and then have variants. This is of course possible for basic product to be the same, but wherever possible you can do that. Focus on working capital, because biggest of our problem is the inventories. Our inventories, and my experience says 30% reduction is possible in any industry. Up to, I'm not saying all, but up to 30% reduction is very absolutely possible. In warehouse, we never focus on TTAT, truck turnaround time. And truck turnaround time concept is a very good concept, especially even in this kind of a COVID situation, because you want this truck to go from your factory back as quickly as possible. You don't want those people to linger. So good concept of truck turnaround time to be monitored and to be reduced. So focus on that. Use concepts like advanced shipment notification. Whosoever is having ERP or like ERP, and there is a possibility, you will be able to schedule your incoming goods very, very effectively. Same is the case for your outward. If your customer is having this facility, use this, because advanced shipment notification is absolutely useful. I have seen it, that how you can really quickly make your goods receipt note paper with a click of a button. You have everything ready. So even, I mean, when COVID is not there, you should practice. But I'm saying that today, all these will become very important. Use automation in your warehouse. There are a lot of automations available today. High-rise trucks to the automated guided vehicles, AGVs, and all such things wherever possible. I'm not saying everybody can use. Wherever possible, use the the lifts which are possible for short lifting of the cargo, of the goods, etc. Use techniques like warehouse management system to its fullest capacity. I always say that our ERPs and such kinds of systems are there, but we don't make full use of it. We use many times ERPs as typewriters. Don't do that. Install it. Install if justified in your case, but otherwise, if you have it, make effective use of these kinds of systems. Digital tools, and I need not tell you separately about it. Wherever possible, use digital tools. There are enough types of portable printers, and you know about RFIDs and barcodes and all these kinds of things. So reduce your human dependence, because I can tell you that human is always a kind of a, what should I say? Sorry to use that word, but it's a long-term liability that we all carry. And in such kinds of times, we really know that if I'm less and less dependent, then certainly I can effectively work. Use digital procurement platforms, as I said, and ERP to its full capability. So this is about the supply chain. Now let me come to operations. And I have put operations with 5 M's. So I have picked up first man and human. Man means not as a human. So M is man as first M. Have clear plan. Now these are some of the short-term things that I'm talking about. Have clear plans for at least 2 weeks after starting to 3 weeks, whatever it is. Call only required number of people. It will be also addressing your social distancing, and you will do it in phase. So if you have, so as I said, begin with your plan for dispatching. You will know that how many people really I require, how many orders do I really have. So only call those number of people. I'm talking from the operator's point of view. Management level, you have many options available. Ask some of them to come. Ask some of them to work from home wherever possible. Ask some of them to consume their leaves if they are already there, still there after these 45 days. One doesn't know how you people have tackled this situation, but there are different options available, and we can talk more offline on this, but use those options available. Now, at operator level, my suggestion is call some people specifically for training, skill enhancement, multi-skilling. You would not get this kind of an opportunity again. This is a grand opportunity that you have got, where people have time. You may not have that much order load, and there is a possibility to train these people, enhance their skills, do multi-skilling. And we have been talking a lot in the industry about multi-skilling, the skill matrix, and really do that in earnest attempt. Communicate regularly. I have said that enough. Explain the real situation. Don't hide anything. Specific teams. Now, why I'm saying that call some people, extra people, because not only training, skill enhancement, but prepare some teams and quality, cost, delivery oriented teams. You will need the improvements in all these 3 areas. So this is a sort of a long-term action. That's why I've put a little bit, bold letters to this. That this is not only for 2-3 weeks. This is continuous, and not that you have not been doing it, but have a very specific goal for these teams that you will make. Start these QCD teams. Now I come to contractual people. Call minimum number. If you are provided with these contractual people by contractor, the clear onus should be on the contractor. This category is a big risk. Mind well, because you have very little control over this situation. You don't know exactly from where people come. May not be that all the information is there with you. So I would say in some next slide, I think I have put down that if you can call zero number of people, call like that. Don't call anybody, right? Now, hold these virtual meetings that I spoke about earlier with people and ask them to come up with ideas for improvement. So these QCD teams, you can actually make sitting at home in these next 6 days. Put that. And then these teams should be working as soon as you are in a position to get them to the factory. Maybe some of them can start working remotely also. Last point on this slide, not a good point. I know everybody's sentiments, but put new recruitment on hold. No new recruitments at this point in time, because you need to save what is there with you today. You can't really be taking additional burdens. So this is my opinion. So no new recruitments, please. Now machines. My suggestion is you have stopped for 40 days. So it doesn't matter if you delay even by 2-3 days. Don't be in a hurry. Ensure that all your required machines are running. Plant has not been running for almost 6 weeks or even more. One doesn't know. I'm in this presentation, I'm assuming that 3rd May and the lockdown is over and all go to work, which all of us know within that it may not be exactly the case. Prioritize your bottleneck operations. No need to tell you this. Bottleneck and critical machines must run. So prepare that plan like that. And as a long term, put the habit of stopping the production whenever required. That means whenever you don't require the production, absolutely stop the machines. And here I think we should follow. Many of the industries have not been following this, though we have learned this over and over again from Japanese, that stop the production whenever not required and utilize your people in something else. Initiate, my machine kind of concepts. Ownership. Now it will come more. It will be more ownership to people, because people have seen that difficult times are really difficult times. So they will value the jobs much more than what they were earlier. So bring such concepts like my machine, and we can elaborately speak about this. I have I have done a lot of work in my times on this my machine. Utilize the team time of multi-skilling, training, doing improvements on the machine, preventive maintenance, practicing setups. There are so many things you can do when you do not run. So utilize all this, even when you have called extra people. I have spoken about all this. So do that. Now, my suggestion is carry out preventive maintenance to avoid breakdowns once started. Uptime has to be 100%. So do that for 2-3 days. Check critical spare status. Check all the utilities at that point in time. While the PM is on, preventive maintenance is on within these 2-3 days, you can also do the setups with which you are going to start with. I'm assuming that that setup is not there and different setup is there when you started the lockdown. So that once you start, you will be able to run without interruptions. Now, last point is important. We have been hearing about Industry 4.0 and all these things. And my simple suggestion to you is Industry 4.0 is a big thing. Start working on use of simple things like Internet of Things, machine-to-machine learning, augmented reality, virtual reality, artificial intelligence, whichever suits you and whichever is relevant to you. There is nothing like I start today with Industry 4.0 and within 3 weeks or 3 months, I'm Industry 4.0. No, it's a journey like that. So start a slow start, and a modest start will always take you much higher than when you start with a big thing. So start with techniques like IoT, M2M, and there are a lot of other things which you can do, which are relevant to you, the way you can do, absolutely. And this is again not short term, but this is 6 months to 1 year. But within 1 year, absolutely see to it that you come out with some meaningful development on this front, because this is going to help us. This is really going to help us. Now I come to methods. Again, a lot of times spoken concept, but not many times still implemented. I would say tested also, but not implemented. See the possibility of running multi-machines. In this time, social distancing also possible to run with lower number of people. You can use these extra operators for whatever we said just now. The next point, small and low cost automation is going to be absolutely a key, because automation at the end of the day is going to help us from the quality point of view, from the cost point of view, from reducing your delivery point or a throughput time. Revisit your layout. I'm not saying that increase the distances, not at all. I mean, I'm not the promoter of that you should have machines at the distances larger than needed. But maybe at this point in time, revisit your layout and see what is possible to be done. How much space you can save, how you can do multi-machine, how you can go with a C type of a layout to do this, especially the assembly operations, if you are doing assembly operations. Next point, and this should have been in the bold letters, start working on cycle time reduction. Hello? I think somebody has a mic open. Yeah. So start working on cycle time reduction. Priority is the bottleneck. And cycle time reduction of bottleneck and next to one bottleneck. That means first two bottlenecks will always help you, because you have learned over the period that nothing is faster than the bottleneck. So if you do this, definitely it will serve you long term. Now I come to material. Short term, ensure, and this we have spoken in the supply chain, ensure raw material or WIP availability for at least first 2 weeks. Material lying in the plant at every stage may need a cleaning due to dust, dirt, corrosion. Take the suitable action and do it when you have a possibility, maybe when you are doing this preventive maintenance, parallelly do this at some of these activities. Now, next point is important. Material consumption. Material is like a gold, and this is really true. COVID, no COVID, material is like gold, but we do not really pay attention to this. So focus on activities related to reduction in material consumption. And whatever I'm saying as the these team activities, put these specific teams, not more than, depending on your size of the organization, not more than 5 or 6 teams, what you can manage. Start new teams once you are finished with it. But focus on reduction in material consumption. This is again very important aspect. Introduce concept like zero defect. Quality, of course, we know that quality is always an order qualifier. It's not an order winner. But zero defect will help you from 2 aspects. One is your material consumption itself will go down, your material cost will go down, your cost will go down as it is, because your cost of poor quality will go down, and your customer will always get the good product. So introduce concept like zero defect. I know that even government has done a lot of work on this zero defect concept, and a lot of industries went through this training and a lot of things in the cluster. There is a time now to actually utilize and actually implement some of these learnings that you have done during this time. Take care of points covered in the purchasing and supply chain. Now the Mother Earth and the environment. Safety of all people is of utmost importance. Now this is related to this post-lockdown until the time that we find a definite vaccine to this. PPEs which are required in the processes. Now my urge is that I have seen many plants, and as a consultant also and otherwise also, that we are very averse to using PPEs. We feel nothing happens. We are careless actually. if you really do our SWOT as Indians, sorry to say, but we are careless people. We feel that nothing happens. So please don't do that. Utmost importance on process PPEs, but now additional thing has come to us. Like even our Honorable Prime Minister said, that mask will become your part and parcel. And sabhyata ka darshan hoga wo. So I think this is very true, that wearing mask, sanitizing during the shifts, this is very important, and people have to be told that it is not only for them but for their fellow workers also, for everybody. The standard operating procedure at the entry and the exit points, very important, and no exceptions, please. This is very, very important, because this needs to be really adhered. Take all information from your people required. Take all information, like where they were during the lockdown, where were their family members, whom have they come in contact with. Take very clear information, take very clear, maybe the statements from them saying that I have no symptoms like corona, and my family doesn't have symptoms. I haven't met with people who have anything like that. So take utmost precaution from your side, because mind well that one person and it can spoil the show. So very important. People who have canteens, extra care in the canteen, SOP for the same, wherever possible. I think I have said it in the next slide. So wherever possible, don't run canteen if possible. Contractual people in the processes, canteen or cleaning, put that onus on the contractor, as I already said. Minimum contract people in the plant, ideally 0. If transport is provided for the employees, very important thing again, that I know that I have some friends in Aurangabad, and they could start after 20th April. And the kind of arrangements that they had to make to keep their factories running, they almost ran 3 times number of buses, but needed. So they did it. If that much is absolutely a must and you need to, and that's why the first step is call only those people who are really needed, where you have orders, where you have something to process. But otherwise, if running transport, social distancing, mask, sanitization from entry point. My suggestion: fumigate the plant before starting. Do this before the PM starts, the preventive maintenance that you are going to do. I have said 2-3 days, does not really mean 2-3 days. If your plant is small, it can be half a day, it can be 1 day, so depending on your need. But fumigate the plant before you start. This would be a good thing to do in order, so that you are more secured, and you will feel that you have done additional step before you start. So I'm trying to now summarize the actions of short term and long term, and in fact all are medium term and long term. Focus on Muda of all types, wastes everywhere. Focus on quality. It is your order qualifier. Remember, quality is always an order qualifier, not an order winner. Plan well to increase efficiency. You can get efficiency only when you have planned what I have said, different M's. Then only you can really have the efficiency in place, or OE, whatever you are measuring. Low cost automation is going to be the key, very important. Supplier partnership is going to be absolutely the name of the game. Suppliers, as we have always been saying, do lot of, and whatever I said about the the improvements that you can do within yourself, within your factory, within your plant, within your company, you can do this with suppliers as well. So extend that arm of help and do that with suppliers. They will give you a lot of benefit in terms of the supplies. Innovation all the time. Innovation is the key. Small, and innovation does not mean, as I have always been saying, jugaad, for example. A lot of people say India has a lot of jugaads. Jugaad is not bad. Jugaad is an innovation, but we keep Jugaad to ourselves. And therefore, only one person can do that Jugaad again. If we institutionalize that as a process, then it is nothing but innovation. So encourage all types of innovations. Encourage small Jugaads, put them into practice so that all the people can do. Service can be your big differentiator. Like we have differentiators. Service is one of the differentiators which is going to really help you. Now, some general points that I would like to take. I know this is first point, you will say, what is this guy talking? That we are just coming out of the first lockdown and this guy is saying, prepare yourself for more lockdowns in future. Because one doesn't know how this will go. So prepare yourself like that. What I mean by this is that don't leave, for example, your plant. Have your minimum WIP. Don't put your WIP into the plant. Finish the work orders that you have running in the plant. Minimum inventories. This will always reduce your exposures. So prepare yourself for more lockdowns in the future. And in real sense, I'm saying, because if government sees that again, we see sudden spurt, they may say, not big, but maybe 10, 15 days, 10 days lockdown. We don't know. So prepare yourself for that. And that's why do all these actions, which most of it we have spoken, and maybe you have some more. The problem will permanently end only when the vaccine is found. This is one part of it. For COVID-19, you know what I mean. Start thinking about the long term. Work out strategies accordingly. This is a separate aspect by itself. This is a special thing that you need to do separately. That is my product needing a diversification? Is my product needing a change? Am I needing to diversify in some other sectors? I have been too much into automotive. So that kind of a strategy, product strategy, and a lot of other strategies need to be thought of in the long-term situation. Start looking at export opportunities. And this I have been saying in the industry for a long time, and a lot of people have started. Start looking at export opportunities. There are huge opportunities in the export market. And in this light of a new situation, new customers in India due to resourcing. You need to expand your horizon. You need to expand your business, your customer base, and your export market. Start working on your weaknesses. When you redo your SWOT, I'm sure that you will come up with new sets of weaknesses, new sets of opportunities, new sets of threats, and you need to convert these threats into opportunities, convert opportunities to realities. That is important. I know that I have a lot of opportunities, but I don't have specific plan to convert them into reality. Put them into reality through such working teams. And I know, easily said than done, because once you are in that hurry of business, and once it starts, the focus slowly again shifts. My earnest request to you is, don't shift that focus this time. We have learned the hard way. Convert the opportunities to reality. Service and quality will be the riding factors with the best cost. Because actually, if you manage your service and quality, the cost will be the right cost. The best cost, as we say, not low cost, the best cost. The last but not the least, flexibility will be the order winner. And you need to look at the flexibility as the tool that you have to win your orders. So these are some of the general points. I turn to any questions. And if you don't have questions, I would really sincerely like to thank for your participation, the number of people that have gathered here. And all the best in fight against COVID-19. My coordinates are here. So contact if you need help. at these 2 email addresses and the 2 phone numbers that I have given.
Hemant, I have received a few questions on chat box.
Okay.
So let us go through them one by one.
Sure.
First, it seems there is confusion. You had said that operational excellence people will play a major role, and Mr. Praveen Nil wants to understand whether what is the meaning of people, whether people means people working with you or the consultants.
No. People working with you, not the consultant. The
Right.
people who are working with you will play the, if you really want to reach that excellence, you can take any help externally. But ultimately, it is the people whom you are working with, your own people. And if they need some kind of a training, hand-holding, of course, there are consultants to help you. But it is what I meant was the people working with you.
Right. Okay, next question is, should we float freight RFQ with shipping line or agents for 2021?
My experience on reverse auctions. Now, this is a kind of a reverse auction that you are talking about. And I have done it myself many years back when I used to work for SKF. And it is really a worth doing exercise because you will find, see, there are 2-3 things which are very important in reverse auction. You should not only look at the rates, but you should look at the transit times, because in these times, the people who are more savvy to using technology, for example, GPS, for example, the RFIDs, or the trackers, the RTLS, the real-time locators, etc. Those are the people whom you should prefer because there is a lot of transparency there. So this is the second point. The third point is the transit time, as I said, the second point. The fourth point, very important point, is that you come to know that who are the 3PL people available, who are the 4PL people available. Now 4PL also has started making entry in India, though still on fingertips. So all these things will play an important role, and your freight bill, because whatever happens with once this is all over, we are going to see, this is my opinion, I'm not a financial expert, but I can say that there will be inflation. We will see rise in the fuel prices because government also needs revenue, and it's big short of revenue at this point in time. So according to me, this is a worth doing exercise, and there are enough cases to prove that these auctions or these online things on freight, they really help.
Okay.
Hemant, this is Lakan Salunke from Kalyan Technoforge.
Hello, can we take the questions which are there in the chat box first, and then we will open the lines?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you. Next question is, any strategy to ask your suppliers for price reduction post-COVID lockdown?
I think what you should do is, this is my opinion, that you should look at the cost aspect, and first you should extend that helping hand to them, that how can they really lower their prices. I think you should be a big brother in this case to help them to really do this. Now, suppose you are dealing with a company which is a big company. Certainly you should. And as a sourcing professional, I used to always say that the sourcing professional, the procurement professional, has to be shameless. There was a colleague of mine in SKF who asked even the Hindustan Petroleum guy that, can you reduce your diesel prices and give me a discount? So, of course, this was a ridiculed situation later on. But I'm saying that you should go to that extent. So nothing wrong in asking. The worst answer could be no, I'm not in a position to. But my first suggestion is that extend that possibility of how can it be done, and that too without hurting them. Do a gain sharing with suppliers. And this has always helped. I have done it number of times in my career, that when you gain share, you get the benefit without really somebody cursing you. And That according to me is important.
Okay, I'm just checking further
Sir,
question.
meanwhile, people has requested you to be on your contact details slide, so they can take down the contacts again. Yeah, thank you.
I'll just read out one question. Subcontractor management will be very critical. The suppliers such as chrome plating, anodizing, who cater to multiple companies will be extremely busy after the lockdown, as they will have pile up for workload, and we will face issues to get material on time from these suppliers. How can such suppliers plan their production, and what can we do to let them prioritize?
So I think, as I said initially, be transparent to those suppliers. Say that which are the chrome plating jobs which you really need for actual dispatch to your customers. Prioritize that first. You may have to go to the extent of that if you know that who are the other customers with whom he is doing. Maybe if it is your competitor, it could be a little difficult. But otherwise, have discussion amongst yourself and make a quick plan for this chrome plating supplier, that these are the 5 orders which are there absolutely needed and are needed by the customer because there are actual orders. So this is one aspect of it. The second aspect of it is that look at if somebody else can also quickly help you. If somebody has a setup of chrome plating and if somebody else can help you, look for an alternative for some time, or even for splitting your business, say 50-50, 20-80, whatever. I mean, that is your second situation. But adopt to the first one, because if you are not having such a load that once everything eases out, you really don't need the second supplier. My always advice would be that if it is local supplier, don't go with too many suppliers. That doesn't help. So this is my opinion.
Yeah, this question, I don't know whether you will be able to address it, but the question is how to maintain dispatches and incoming material sanitized. So do you have any guidance on this question?
Frankly, I'm not an expert, but what we are today doing at home probably could help. That whatever is coming in, first of all, is quarantined. Quarantined is the word which we have heard and which we have practiced now, I think, for last 36 days. Even people are quarantined. So maybe quarantine. And then the cleaning. Now that you will have to really ask the people who are experts. I would not be able to really throw much light on it, but you will have to do it in some way or the other, because you certainly don't want any spread of this. And we have heard many, I would say, stories at this point in time that even the newspaper can spread it, and metal can keep the virus for such a long time and things like that. So take the guidelines from the person who is knowing it. That's the best thing to do.
Yes. Okay. And there is one last question. What will be the impact on international business, and will it get back to pre-COVID-19 level?
I think what will happen to international business, of course, the countries which are very badly affected, it may take some time for the business to come up to again the level. But the biggest opportunity, and I think, I don't know the answer how to do it, but I'm saying all of us quickly must do something to get to the customers to say that if China is your supplier, today I am in a position to supply, and get to those international. That's why I said that export opportunities, and diversify your customers also. If you have one single customer there, try and reach out to more customers there. And for the same product, it will be always quick to develop the same or similar kind of a product. So my suggestion to you is that, and my estimate, I think it will take at least a year, so even little longer, that we can have the early, COVID pre-COVID levels once again. That, but collectively. So that's why we have to expand our horizons. We will have to expand our basket. Then only we can go to those kinds of levels. Otherwise, it is very difficult.
Okay, now questions from chat box are over. I'll request participants to put up questions if they have. Any questions from the participants? Please unmute your audio.
Sir, good evening.
Yes, good evening. Please ask your
Sir,
question.
what will be the business opportunity after this lockdown session other than medical business?
I think there are many sectors. I have myself seen a list of sectors which will absolutely go up. For example, all the the online kind of devices, they will have a big thing. I can, if you share your details, I can send you a clip which clearly shows that which sectors will go down and which sectors will come up. This is for India. So I can share you the clip, and it is a very informative clip. I don't know who is the speaker. There's a particular gentleman, and it's about 12 minutes clip. It is really worth listening.
Yeah, and whether it is the right time to have a JV with other country other than China?
Why not? I mean, joint venture is something where you should absolutely go for, because I think this is very important aspect and that is what these countries are trying. And unfortunately, I heard, now I don't know how far this is true, but many companies already have started looking at Thailand, for example, or even Vietnam for that matter. So we should move quickly. And according to me, this point in time, because I heard Nitin Gadkari the other day, and government is very helpful in these aspects right now. So I think you should move fast on this, and you should absolutely do it.
See, basically in our Pune zone, there are small MSMEs, and they don't know how to go ahead for JVs. So can you give some idea about it?
I mean, I would not be able to, but I can tell you that MCCIA itself can help you. In fact, Parag, I think Sudhanva Kopardekar can be the right person, right?
Yes, true, right.
So there is a gentleman who actually is a director for this sector, and certainly the help can be sought from MCCIA itself.
Parag sir, if you put one session on this, so many of the industrial people get idea about it, and it will be the good opportunity for them.
Absolutely.
Definitely, I will share this point with Sudhanva. In the meantime, I have typed his email ID in the chat box. So if you have any query regarding international business, foreign trade, you can send questions to him.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Email ID. Please put it.
I have put it in the chat box. It is Sudhanwa K, SUDHANWA K @mccciapune.com.
Hemant sir, if you can just share that clip to Parag sir, and he can, he's already having the email addresses of all the participants who are here on this session. So all of them can get that clip, whatever you're saying.
Yeah, I can share it with Parag. Yes, I can do that.
No problem. I will share it with all the participants.
Yeah, please, that would be better. And one more thing.
Do you?
Sorry, can you just share this presentation with us, Hemant sir?
No.
Is it possible?
Not possible, because see, what happens is that there are certain things which I am keeping on changing in this. So, I mean, it would be better if you can get in touch with me. We can speak about it, and on one-to-one basis, we can certainly do it.
Sure, not an issue.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions? Yes.
Hemantji, do you foresee any raw material price increases coming up after COVID?
Raw material prices, if you are talking of abroad, let me come to it. When you are importing it,
Not abroad.
you are talking of local.
Domestic.
I would certainly say that people who are big, for example, steel industry, they will have their inputs going up, and definitely may not be immediately, because immediately the priorities are different. People want to start, people want to little bit come to some level at least, and things like that. But my expectation is that within 3 months or 6 months of this period, and there will be price increase requests coming from a lot of people. That's why I have put a lot of emphasis on cost, because the cost part, the inventory part, you will be able to sustain only if you are in a position to generate cash from your own side. And that's why that emphasis. I certainly expect a lot of input costs rising once this whole thing settles down.
Yeah, and as far as cost is concerned, there are many schemes by the Ministry of MSME, for example, lean manufacturing or zero defect, zero effect. So if the MSMEs can really participate in these schemes, lean is also partly a subsidized scheme. So if you want information, you can get in touch with me as well.
And one advice from my side, that these, because I also spoke about this zero defect. Now, these schemes are there, but you need implementation to see the benefit for yourself. Let me be very, very, what should I say, very honest about it, that you need to not show, but really to see for yourself that I have gone down on the cost. And I see more coming in to have documentation. I'm not against documentation, mind well. I'm very much a follower of the quality systems and things like that. But that should result into a benefit for you and the actual, जिसको बोलते हैं ना hard cash, आपके पास आना चाहिए वो cost reduction. You should see.
Hello.
That is important.
Yes. Any question?
Hello.
Anybody wants to? Yes. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hello, sir. I have a question. Is there will be a demand supply issue for required RM for production after lockdown, which leads to rate rise for raw material and ultimate products?
Yeah, I said that earlier, that depending on, see, like we are preparing ourselves, all the people will prepare to the best of their ability. And if your input is not, unfortunately, in the priority, and if there are a lot of priorities, then definitely you can see an effect of it on your input. That's why I said very important is that before you start, you have to have the status, have to have communication with supplier, that if that particular delivery is expected, when exactly it will come to your factory. Because otherwise you will be in a hurry to start and you won't be really able to start, because you will have material, due to material, the downtime. And you should not have such downtimes at all, because then you are wasting much more. And you have to have a lot of care for bringing the people in the factory. And on top of it, you will have such kinds of downtime. So you should be very careful.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Meanwhile, I got to know that in the wake of this, sorry, this is Kumar Narwade from Randak, India. So yes. Meanwhile, I got to know that, in the wake of this corona disease from China, so a lot of companies are, looking India as the next big source. So what do you think?
I think that is what I said even in my presentation, that there is a big opportunity for companies who are in China right now, and they can shift. And you have seen that Korean companies and Japanese companies have already decided that they will shift. The destinations are there, different destinations. India has to really work to get them here. That is my opinion.
Yes. We have to, as an Indian, we should, materialize that.
Yes, and we have capabilities. We have
of course.
possibilities. And
I know.
Luckily, government is in absolutely helping mode, and they will help. So I think we should not miss this opportunity.
Yeah. Okay. But one more thing, sir. I see this, post this lockdown and all that seems to be very tricky to handle.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, I'm not saying it is going to be easy, but
Yes, yes.
this is very important from the point of view that and secondly, these are all suggested things that one has to do.
Correct.
It is going to be difficult. It is not going to be easy at all. But there
Yes,
is
yes.
no easier way out.
Yeah.
So we have to unfortunately do it, and we should do it.
Yeah, then, I mean, this decision posed a very big challenge on all of us to survive, and we have
Yes.
to at the end. Yes.
And we
And,
have to survive. There is no other option.
So, lastly, very thanks to because taking us through a nice presentation in a very lucid way. Thanks.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, if there are no questions, then can we sum up, please?
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes. Yes. Any question?
Yes, it's a really nice presentation.
Okay.
With very calm, very
to
calm
ask
and presentable basis.
Hello.
Okay. Okay.
I want to ask one question.
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
When we see lot of opportunities, then instead of cutting manpower, we should invest in a better manpower, or we can employ people, and then they'll be useful maybe after 6 months or 1 year. So, what is your opinion? Because I am of the opinion that if opportunities are there, we should invest in manpower.
See, what I would say is that wherever the skill situation requires people, that's why I said that I'm not saying that you should be averse to people. No, people is a big strength. But I am saying that, see, as it is, we say that when the technology is coming in, the jobs of the people will not be taken away. Their jobs will get upgraded. So I am saying that instead of doing anything else, upgrade their skills and use them for better maybe implementation of technology. Somebody has asked me here, Pratik Sharma, that blockchain is very much useful. I fully agree with Pratik that we need to have good implementation of blockchain kind of a technology in many different applications. So maybe you have people or recruit people to upgrade these kinds of things to make your organization implement certain technologies which can be for future important technologies, and it will help you. So I'm not saying that you should not recruit people. I've just now said just put a hold on recruitment right now because you don't know the future, but do it for something where technology can be implemented. Some skill is absolutely needed, and I know assemblies where I used to have the person assembling much faster than the machine. But imagine one thing, the machine can be fitted with a Poka which gives you an error-proof assembly, which the person gives you the faster assembly. So faster and error-free has a big difference. And that's why you should more go towards the jobs or the operations which can be done by automation, and upgrade the skills of the people to do really what they are capable to do. This is my opinion.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So I thank all the participants for their participation, and on behalf of you and MCCI, I would like to thank Mr. Hemant Zog for providing valuable inputs to the participants, and I hope that the participants will make best use of the inputs. Thank you very much. And if it is request to the participants, if you are not a member of MCCI, please try to get membership and talk to your concerned persons. It becomes easier for us to get in touch with you, and you also will keep on receiving the important information from our side. So that is the biggest advantage. So thank you very much, and I look forward for your participation in future programs also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Parag. From my point of view also, it was really very nice session, good interaction, and really involved participants. And Parag, thank you MCCIA and you for giving me this opportunity.